We have some huge breaking news in the NHL. The San Jose Sharks have Evander Kane on waivers, but this time it's for unconditional waivers for the purpose of contract termination. What does this mean? How does it affect their cap? And could he dispute this? We'll discuss all that coming up next. So welcome back to another video here, Top Shelf Hockey. As I mentioned, we have some pretty substantial breaking news from the NHL this afternoon. We found out today when the waiver news came out that Evander Kane of the San Jose Sharks is on waivers, which wouldn't come as a huge surprise because he doesn't actually need regular waivers right now because he's already been demoted and playing in the American Hockey League, but they have him on unconditional waivers for the purpose of contract termination, which we usually see in cases most often with players that are like from usually from Europe or Russia or overseas that are not getting enough opportunity, usually on entry-level deals, prospects that are not getting enough of a role and they decide they want to go back home and play. Those are usually the more common times we see this move made, but there have been times because of violations that we've seen the odd NHL player have his contract essentially terminated. This is not a buyout. They're not paying him a series of money over a period of years. Like, he's done and terminated, and it'll be effective tomorrow once he clears waivers, assuming no other team wants to put in a claim. And why would they want to take on a $7 million cap hit for a player who's been under so much scrutiny, so much investigations when it comes to on and off ice activities? Obviously just served a big suspension. Now the rationale here that they're giving for this move is they say that the Evander Kane has been in breach of his NHL standard player contract and for violation of the AHL COVID-19 protocols. Now, he's already been suspended for violating NHL COVID-19 protocols this year, which we had found out earlier in the season, right around the time of training camp, that before the season was starting, around there sometime, I can't remember the exact date, that he was under investigation for a variety of things, and he was going to be taking a leave from the team. He'd be away from the team while the investigation was ongoing. He was being investigated for a lot of accusations from his, I guess you could call her soon-to-be ex-wife or estranged wife. They're going through a very public, very messy divorce right now. Child custody as well involved, and that's all been involved. She accused him of some things that he was under investigation for by the NHL, which were not substantiated, but he was also under investigation for COVID violations, which was proven to be true, and served a lengthy suspension for providing a fake vaccine record for getting his COVID-19 vaccination. So certainly this is not a good situation. He's going to end up forfeiting just shy of 23. It's 23 million. It's $22.885 million remaining on that contract that the Sharks would have to pay him, that they're no longer going to have to. They will no longer have a salary cap hit for Evander Kane, so that gives them a huge sigh of relief, a huge amount of flexibility in their cap situation suddenly. We know that they would have loved to have done this sooner, but clearly they didn't feel like they had a strong enough case to do it, and so they put him through regular waivers. He was demoted to the minors. They get a little bit of relief that way. It's just over $1 million cap relief. I guess they were probably hoping that he would go down, do well in the AHL, and then maybe another team would bite on a trade, even if they had to retain some salaries. Probably what they were kind of hoping for, but that never materialized. It's my understanding he was only playing a limited amount of time with the American Hockey League team. I don't believe he was traveling with them, so I haven't checked his stats to see how many games he's been into. I've seen reports about different scouts checking him out, or at least reportedly checking him out, different games for the Barracuda. We can't really substantiate that because they could have been looking at other players. Anyways, hard to say, but it looks like that the Evander Kane saga in San Jose comes to an end, and it comes to an end today, but the saga is changing. The saga about whether or not he's going to be traded or any of that stuff ends now, but I can pretty much guarantee, I guess we'll find out soon enough here, probably in the coming hours before the end of the day, wouldn't be surprised, or maybe tomorrow, very near future, that I would not be shocked to find out that Evander Kane, through the help of the NHL Players Association, very well could challenge this and try to see if they can force the Sharks to come to a settlement agreement so that he can get paid out some of that money, or even they might try for all of it. I'm not sure, because I don't know exactly what the violation was, but considering he's had multiple COVID violations this season alone, that doesn't look good to me. That they must feel like they have a pretty soundproof case. The Sharks have been more than patient with this guy and this player. We've heard going back to the offseason that his teammates in San Jose really didn't want anything to do with him anymore, and that many of them had talked to GM Doug Wilson about the fact that if he was coming back, that they didn't really want to be there. They didn't want to be part of the room if he was involved. We know Doug Wilson himself hasn't been around the team as much either. He's been away dealing with a personal health issue, which we hope that he is okay. And I'm sure his assistants are doing the legwork here. I'm sure he's probably still involved in some capacity, though. Clearly, even though he's not necessarily doing the full amount of work he normally would, at least to the best of our knowledge here. But still, this is a pretty substantial news story, and it's only going to continue. This is the beginning of a new era in the Kane saga. And like I said, we don't have to talk about whether or not anybody trades for him, picks him up, etc. He will become an unrestricted free agent. You have to wonder, is his career over? Will anybody sign him even to a short-term, cheaper contract? It's possible. I mean, I know this is probably going to have an impact on his pending bankruptcy case as well. So you have to wonder how that impacts things. I'm no judge or bankruptcy lawyer, so I don't really know exactly how that's going to play out. But certainly the amount of money he's earning will impact what all that's going to be playing out for. And of course, it'll impact the custody thing, I'm sure, too. So I don't know. This is going to have an impact on his life in more ways than one, I'm sure. I would not be one bit surprised to see a counter, to see a grievance or, something filed through the PA to fight this. And we'll find out, because I won't be one bit surprised. So let's see where this goes next. Let me know your thoughts. Do the Sharks have a shut and closed case here that this won't be challenged, or at least not the challenge, successfully? And will Kane get signed anywhere else? Do you think another team will give him a chance, seeing as now they could sign him for a new contract for substantially less money? He's a great hockey player on the ice. It's everything else that makes people want to stay clear of him. And I guess we'll find out in due time if this is the end, or will he get another chance? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. We'll discuss further. If you're new to this channel, make sure you subscribe and stick around. We'll keep you up to date with all the latest news, rumors, and analysis on all 32 NHL teams. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.